Hey YouTube, this is Liz, and today we're going to talk about a beginning trader topic that I get a lot of questions about. And again, this is at the most basic level. It's a beginner's topic, so if you're more advanced, and you probably already know this, but since a lot of people have been asking me, what do you mean by resistance? What do you mean by support? I'm going to show that. The first part of this series, I covered what support is. So if you've already seen that, then you'll already know this, but if not, check that out. The link should be below here on the video. And so this is an area of support. So now we're going to talk about resistance. Pretty much resistance is just the opposite of support. So consider it where support is a floor, resistance is like a ceiling. And so nothing can get out of, if it's a ceiling in your house, nothing can leave your house. If you have like a remote control helicopter or something, you can't fly it up straight up in the air because it's going to hit your ceiling. So the same way that that little helicopter reacts to your ceiling in your house is the same way that price is going to react when it hits resistance. So in this case, price hits resistance and it bounces off, and then again it hits resistance and it bounces off, and then it continues to do that, and that's what basically resistance is. And it goes the same thing as support. This resistance area, it can't be like a gigantic area, meaning, you know, it can't cover there and there. That's too big of an area. It needs to be within the vicinity of, you know, it can't be that large. It has to be a pretty decent range between each price point. And again, price doesn't have to be at that exact point to be considered resistance. So in this case, we've got the bar right here. It's closing at about 1463.75, and then the bar right here is closing about 1463.25. Then we have this one up at 1464.50. So that's probably a bad idea, because a bad example, because this one's not really at that resistance, but these two are. But if you notice, the price's highest pivot is at two totally different prices. So as long as it's within a decent vicinity of one another, then it is a valid resistance. And the only other thing is that not all resistance areas are created equal. And what I basically mean by that is that some of them aren't actually that strong. Like take this one, for instance. It's not considered a strong one, nor really is one like this. And, you know, there's a lot of them that aren't actually very strong resistance. This one is not either really that much at first, but then it kind of sort of does become that. This one is not at all. So if you look back at this resistance area at the beginning, this is a very strong resistance area. And the reason for that is the fact that it keeps changing direction of the market. So every time we have a push up, price bounces off of resistance and it pushes it back down. And so that's a sign of a strong resistance area. Those are the kinds that we want to be concerned with as traders. And a lot of traders use these areas to gauge either their entries or their exits. And it's something that you have to be able to recognize in the live market and then execute based on what your plan is. So again, not all resistance areas are created equal. Some of them are weak. Something like this one's just an interim area, whereas the one at the beginning is a really strong area that you have to be very careful about. So that's it for resistance. Again, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. And if you want to learn more about trading, sign up for our 5-day video bootcamp below. Thanks and good luck.